It's crazy. When I first met Big, right? This was my first time meeting Big. And I think it was the summertime. It was hot. This dude was rapping in his boxer drawers. He was in the studio with boxer. He was in the booth the whole time. And when he walked out, he had boxer drawers. I said, come on, Jeff.
Hey everyone, it's your girl, Emily Curl with iHeartRadio, and today we're hanging out with legendary producer, Chucky Thompson. Chucky, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
I appreciate it. I'm good. I'm hanging in there. How about you?
I'm good. I'm excited. I've got my wheel ready. I feel like very Vanna White when I have this.
That's what's up. I love that wheel, and I love your outfit and everything.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, it's so exciting to be sitting here with you. Obviously, you have such an incredible career and you've worked with such an incredible roster of talent. For you, when you think back over your career, how does that feel? Does that feel surreal to you?
I mean, at times, yeah, it does, because you're only blessed to be in certain situations. I've been blessed to be in a couple of situations. So, you know what I'm saying? It gets real. It gets real. I appreciate, God's gift. Let's just say that,
What do you think is your secret sauce to producing?
For me, you know what? It's being personal with the artist. Like I said, I was blessed to be able to work with some of the greatest artists. I mean, before they were even considered to be the greatest. And, just that alone is like, that's one of the things that I draw into. I try to get into you personally, Everybody's different, and everybody has their own story. So I just feel like it's a soundtrack to everybody's story,
Well, I love that you mentioned story because this is the wheel of stories. So on this wheel, I have a lot of names that you've worked with or collaborated with, and maybe a few wild cards in there. So I thought we could spin this a few times and you tell me just a memorable moment, a behind the scenes moment, anything that comes to mind when I land on that person. Sound good?
Okay, cool, fun. Let's go.
Ready? Spin number one. Oh, we have Nas. Oh, that's a good one to start. All right.
This guy. He had asked me to send songs in when we first started working together. He asked me to submit some songs. And I did, but I didn't hear anything back. And then he called me and said, you know what? Come in. Let's sit down and let's try to figure out, something. And the song that we created was One Mic. We wound up doing 2 more albums after we did the One Mic song. I wound up being associate producer on Streets Disciple.
Are you ready to spin again?
Let's keep it going. Let's roll.
I actually like this one. Best studio memory.
It's crazy. When I first met Big, right? This was my first time meeting Big. And I think it was the summertime. It was hot. This dude was rapping in his boxer drawers. He was in the studio with boxer. He was in the booth the whole time. And when he walked out, he had boxer drawers. I said, come on, Joe. And at that time, actually, he was writing. He was still writing stuff down. And then immediately after that, he stopped writing altogether. He just would go in the booth without a pen or pad and recite. So I caught that last end. First off, him in his drawers, and second, him with the pen and pad.
Let's move on to another spin. We got a few more. Oh, actually, this is okay. Shania Twain.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's talk about Shania Twain.
Okay, so check this out. This is a situation that just happened. So I'm working with Puff right now. He has a situation that he's starting. I'm not gonna give too much information about it because And one of the songwriters, she actually wrote a song with me with a lady named Denise Rich. And what happened was they were in the Bahamas, and Stacey Barth, that's the writer that I'm talking about. Stacey Barth. Stacey Barth I think she just signed to Puff with his situation. So she's an artist on this. She started out as a songwriter. She's an artist. She walks on Denise's boat just to say hello. And at that moment, Shania walks on the boat, right? So Shania walks in, she says hello, she sees a microphone, she's like, yo, let's work. Like, she's totally a worker. So her and Stacey get together, they write this song. Now, I'm in LA at this time. So I get a phone call, Stacey and Shania wrote this record. Just want to get you to get the production on it. So they sent it to me. I mean, the song is incredible. Like Stacy is, to me, I mean, you guys will find out in a minute, but Puff just signed her, so you already know what it is. Like her pen and her stories, and she's just amazing. Shania is crazy because, like, with this record, she's not actually singing like a verse or anything. She's doing all the backgrounds. So then you have Stacy, you have Shania, and it has this country vibe to it. But I'm crazy. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do some trap drums, but I'm going to use country drum sounds. You know what I'm saying? So it feels like I've been banging this record in the hood. Like I'm riding around with my windows down, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm naked. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those songs that you just don't care. It's like, I feel like everybody listens to everything now. You got country people listening to trap. You got trap people listening to, you know, it's just a mix right now. It's not even really separate. So, I mean, for me, it was just like, you know, it's like you just received a gift, another gift from God. You know what I mean? Because these two and the way that they are creatively, and then for them to give me that trust to just pull it all together. I mean, it's Shania and Stacy, so it's crazy. You know what I mean?
And the fact that started on a boat is an even better story.
It started on a boat in the Bahamas. You know
I can't wait to hear the final version.
Puff hasn't heard it yet. He doesn't even know I'm on the case yet. I just left this house like 2 days ago, and we sat. I didn't mention nothing with him. Sometimes you got to surprise him because nothing is ever a surprise to him until it is.
Okay, time for another spin. Let's talk about Mary J Blige.
Okay, love.
In the documentary, this is incredible. Tell us all about this.
I mean, it's overdue. You know, like I learned a lot from this documentary. A lot of the stuff I didn't know about her. You know, when we were doing the interviews, she had mentioned that when she wrote My Life, that song was about her life, like actually her life and the things that were happening with her. I just thought she just had a vibe from the music that we had, but then to find out how much that record meant to her, you know, I didn't know that. The crazy part about it is before I even met Puff or Mary, I had started on that song. And then I signed to Puff, we get up to the house, I'm saying, you know what, let me play some stuff that I've done. Let me just see if this is really meant to be. And I played the record, and I mean, he comes running from the other side of the room like, yo, I was just thinking about that record. You know what I'm saying? And then he said, I'm gonna play it for Mary tonight. And then she said the same thing. And, you know, watching the doc and seeing how much that record meant to her. I mean, we worked on it that night. The night he played it for is the night we went in the studio and she wrote it. And I mean, we did that whole My Life album in 4 months.
That's insane.
I'm talking about finished, but I could never imagine that 25 years later, that this record would be one of her like most acclaimed situations.
And now with Mary J Blige, when did you two first meet?
I was seeking management at the time, and you know, she was working on her new album. I didn't know she was working on her album. I just knew that I wanted to get management. So I had two situations. It was either go with a guy named Hiram Hicks, who could get me TLC, or go with Puffy, who could get me Mary. And when that 411 album hit, I mean, it was almost like God was tapping me on my shoulder, because I was working on a lot of hip hop and mixing it in with R&B at that time. So then here comes this 411 album. It was a perfect example of hip hop and R&B, but it just touched it. The first record that got sent to Mary wasn't even supposed to get sent to her. It was a song that I was producing for a group in DC. And that song went to her. She's going through a lot of records and trying to find stuff. And she happened to like that one record. And that was the one record that got Puffy to give me a deal. I mean, to sign me to a management agreement. So I was only contracted for one song and an interlude. That was it. And what happened was, I think a lot of those producers that worked on the 411 album, you know, because that record went to like 3 million, like it sold, that they were coming in with these crazy prices to her. That she came to Puff and said, look, why don't you and Chucky do my whole album? Like, come on, Joe. Nobody could plan that.
What else is next for you? Who else is on that list?
You know what's crazy? When I was doing at Puff's house, is I was working with Little Christian. I was working with Christian. So we got a song that's coming, you know what I mean? Like, while I'm talking to him, Miss Combs comes and sits behind me. I didn't even know she was sitting behind me. And I'm telling Christian all kinds of gangster stuff because I want him to understand what it really is out here. You know, you got Pops, but we got to get ready to make you got to get ready to step away. You got to get ready to get in your bag. And he was just totally there. And I looked back and seen Miss Combs and she was like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? She gave me the cosign. So just be, you know, we got something that's crazy. I'm doing something a little different with him, you know, but he's perfect for it. You know, that's all. I'm kind of working my room. Like I said, once I finish this documentary, that's really my focus right now. Is just kind of getting that done. But in the interim, I'm working with a lot of artists from Sony, a lot of Sony writers that are dope. You know, my homegirl Ink, she just penned something crazy for Puff recently. So just be on the lookout. Like, it's gonna be little things. Like I'm always that secret sauce guy. You know what I'm saying?
Just always in everything a little.
If the record is cranking and then you look at the credits, oh, he did that. You know what I mean? Like
that's Chucky. We know.
Yeah, like it really. So
we cannot wait, Chucky. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
This was so great. So excited for all the future projects, and hopefully next time we see you, it's in person in our iHeart studios.
Oh no, that's real. That's real.
Thanks so much for watching our interview with Chucky Thompson. Make sure you go stream Mary J Blige, My Life, her new documentary out now, and we'll see you next time. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Did you like that video? You can check out more over here. And don't forget to subscribe to iHeart right here. And if you're already a longtime fan, make sure you ring the bell down below so you don't miss a single video. Bye guys.